Hello, my name's Ian. I sell books on eBay, and today it's going to be a little bit different. I've got about 9 orders to go out, but I had to get them all shipped off really early this morning, just the way the day's working out. So I can talk about them, but I can't show you them right now. But there might be a way around that. So we're going to look at the orders that went out, and there's some fairly interesting ones, some quite decent orders going. Also, I have been adding to my thrift store book collection, so going around the charity shops, going around the op shops, going around the thrift stores, and looking for certain authors, certain editions to build up a personal collection rather than just having lots of stock to sell. So finally getting back to recreating my own personal library. We'll see how that goes over the coming days, weeks, months and years, quite probably. But I've picked up like about 5 books to add to what I want to gather up and collect, and I have added a couple of authors to what that collection is going to be. Also want to have a quick talk about what's coming up over the weekend, because I'm going to be doing something again a little bit different. It'll be in addition to my usual videos, but I want to get them up there and out there. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the orders that have gone out first. So first up we have Nemesis, Joe Nesbo. Yep, Joe Nesbo's Nemesis paperback book sold for $6.99, so a nice wee individual sale. Next up we have 3 Susan Lewis. Yep, 3 Susan Lewis. No Place to Hide, I Have Something to Tell You, and a hardcover of You Said Forever, and 3 of them went for £9.99. Next up we've got Tess of the D'Urbervilles, York Notes. Yep, saying yep a lot. It's a York Notes advanced book for Tess of the D'Urbervilles, and that went for £6.84. And next, Hammer of the Gods, Led Zeppelin biography, £6.84 again. Right, we've got a bundle coming up next, and that bundle was 5 Lucinda Rileys, and they paid £14.34. It's a heavy lot. Lucinda Riley books are always big chunky beasties, so £14.34 seems like quite a good price, but I've got an extra £3 in postage that I'll need to be paying, so it's still back down about £11. My usual kind of £10 bundle that I like. And next we've got another single book, The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. The Ember Blade by Chris Wooding. The Ember Blade. I've had it sitting for a while. It was one of those fantasy looking books that I just pick up when I see them, but that sold for £7.24 on its own. Another bundle, a kids bundle this time, which was 5 How to Train Your Dragons, Cressida Cowell, and went for £12.99. So I just picked up a few of them the other day, which seems to have revitalised that listing. And then a big bundle, which was Big Stack, Christian Jack, and One Little Asimov on top, and that went for £20.94. So Christian Jack, I picked up like half a dozen of those ages ago. I've picked up another few as it's gone along. I think I've sold one small lot before, but that's a big chunk of them. 6 and an Asimov book going out as well. About 3.5 kilos for that lot. So it was £6 odd to get it posted. So £20.94 less 6 postage is still going to be quite a nice little return on it. Next is a pre-made bundle, which was books 7 to 9, The Wheel of Time. And they sold for £12. So, as I've mentioned, some of these bundles now, instead of putting them up, build your own. If I've got a few that look like a set, I'm following the advice and seeing what other people are doing, and I'm just making them into bundles and putting them out there. So that was £12 free post, and they've sold within a few days of going up. So the 3 Robert Jordan books 7 to 9. Next we have Katie Flynn, Sold Again. Yep, the Katies always sell for me. So this Katie Flynn bundle went for £12.99. That's obviously including postage, and those are the book sales for the day. So, a quick run through of those, and now to talk about something completely different. Well, actually, it's not that different. I did a video a couple of weeks ago, at some point in the recent past, saying that, as I mentioned at the start of this, that I was wanting to start building back up my own book collection rather than just having lots of books there to sell on eBay. So I've chosen a few authors that I like and I have some of and I want to complete. So we've got Robert Harris, John Connolly, Terry Pratchett. Those were my 3 to start, and I'm wanting to get first edition hardcovers for their entire series and sets. So John Connolly, I've only managed to pick up one of his. I have picked up a few John Connolly since I made that video, but only one of them is getting added, and that is The White Road. So one of his very early Charlie Parker books. If you've not read John Connolly and you like any kind of thrillers, especially if they're a bit dark and a wee bit supernatural, they're absolutely brilliant. And they just get better and better. You must have about 20 of them out there now. I think I'm going to sneeze. Survived. So this is the 4th book in the series, so it's the earliest one I've got in hardcover at the moment. So the 3 before that I'm looking for are Every Dead Thing, Dark Hollow and The Killing Kind, and I think I've had a couple of those in hardcover and sold them, so next time I see them I'll be keeping them. And depending on what your opinion is on first editions, it's a first edition because it's got a 1 in it. Still not convinced about that myself, I'll be honest. I like it when it says 1 and only 1, or it says first edition, which to me is a first print, first edition. But yeah, I picked up that John Connolly to add to the collection. And I also got one Robert Harris, which was Archangel. So I've read a few Robert Harris, I haven't read all of them, so I'm quite enjoying finding my way through some of the older ones. Again, kind of a first edition. If I find one that just says 1 or first edition, this one will be getting swapped out, but that's where it is at the moment. There's only a couple before this one as well in the series. This is the earliest one I've got so far, so I'm looking for Enigma and Fatherland in hardcover, and then a few later on as well, but I've got quite a lot of his at the moment, so I'm doing quite well with Robert Harris. And I've added 2 more authors. Who could they be? Those of you with sharp eyes may have noticed them on the shelves behind me over the last few days, because I just picked them up yesterday. Well, this one actually, it was only a couple of days ago I picked it up. So I had a first edition of the first book in this trilogy, and it sold for really good money. And I've now found the Amber Spyglass. So this is the 3rd book in the trilogy. It is not a first edition according to the scoping of it. It's a 4th print, so still a fairly early print, but I'm going to see if I can get the hardcover set of His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman. It's a brilliant series as well. It really, really is. The TV programme was good, but it did not do the books justice. So if you like a wee bit of fantasy, they're kind of young adult fiction, but anyone can read them and enjoy them, and they really, really are quite brilliant. So I'm going to keep looking for Northern Lights and The Subtle Knife. If I find the first editions, I don't know if I'll sell them or I'll keep them. We'll have to wait and see, but I found a handful of copies in hardcover over the last almost year, and I hope that will continue and I can complete that set. So that's me got the 3rd one, and I'm just looking for the first 2. I may stretch it into the Book of Dust that he's done more recently, although I did try reading one of those and I just couldn't get into it. So possibly stick with these, but we'll see what shows up. So that was one author that I've added, and then another author that I've added, which is going to take quite a lot to pick up. I've had quite a few of these in first editions over, again, the last year, but I get them in, they sell really well, so I've just kept selling them. But now when I find the right ones, I'm going to add them to the collection. So I'll start off just picking up the hardcovers, and then as I find better, cleaner editions, So better editions, cleaner copies, then I'll swap them out and keep it going that way. So we're going with Stevie Boy King. So these are two more recent books, but Fairy Tale, that's been my favourite book of his for quite some time. And then Billy Summers, which was okay, it was good. So we've got those two to start off our Stephen King collection as well. So that's a long way to go to get all of these puppies. So we shall just have to see. I thought I had picked up a Terry Pratchett Jingo, but it turns out I've already got it. So it was just a paperback. It was a first edition paperback. I kind of in two minds, should I try and collect all the hardcover editions and the paperbacks, go for a mix? I don't know, but I'm going to stick with the hardcovers. If I find out a good condition, like first edition paperback that I don't have in hardcover, I'm going to keep it until I can swap it out. But a few of the early books, I don't think the hardcovers are really, they may not even exist for a couple of the early books. I'll need to look into that actually. So if I find them, they'll just be going on the shelf as they are and stacking it up there. So it's been a nice wee start. I mean, that's 5 books added to the collection. It's cost me about £1.25 for those 5 books. That's a lie. I paid £2 for that. And I paid £1 for that. So ignore me. That's £3.75 it's been for those 5 books, which is still an absolute bargain. And they are added to the collection. I've done a kind of sneaky cheat as well. So Game of Thrones. I do love Game of Thrones, so I finally had a complete set of that edition. So I've taken those down from the listings. Basically, I bought them from the business and I've added them to the shelf as well. So I don't know. Maybe when the new book comes out, I'll probably have to go back and reread the whole lot, but they've probably got like 10 years before he gets that book finished. So yeah, we've got that complete set as well, but I don't know if I'm counting that. I don't know. I'll think about it and decide. So that's how the book collection is going, and it is a nice wee stack in there. The John Cornwells, I've read them all. Stephen King, I've read them all. Philip Pullman, I've read them all. Terry Pratchett, I've read them all. So it's Robert Harris is the author in there, which I've got a few of his now to read that I haven't read before, but I do really enjoy his thrillers. They're usually a wee bit smarter than the average, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, they're good. Right, last thing to talk about. And it's not drinking coffee, although drinking coffee is very important. It's one of my favourite hobbies. Right, I've had a few questions, comments over the last weeks, months about how to do very specific things on eBay. Recently, how do you set it so that when somebody buys multiple items from you, eBay only charges them postage once? So it sounds like a simple thing to do, but if you don't know how to do it, it can be a bit of a head scratcher. You've got to go digging. How to set up promotions, how to set up coupons, how to set up variation listings, how to set up multi-buy discounts, all of these bits and pieces, which if you can do them all and you've got processes in place, really makes life so much easier. If you set up a postage discount, you don't have to, not a postage discount, but a combined postage offer, then you don't have to go in and constantly be refunding buyers for additional postage costs. And also there'll be a lot of people who will not have bought from you because it's come back and said it's going to be like £10 postage for 3 books. So people just won't buy it because they don't know that you will definitely refund them the difference in postage. Means you don't have to go in and create invoices to send things out. So that's one topic. The other topics, as I mentioned, creating promotions and creating coupons so that you can have a buy 2 get 1 free, buy 3 get 2 free, buy 5 get 20% off, whatever variation you're looking for there. Again, they're pretty straightforward to do, but like everything, stuff's easy when you know how, and once you've done it a few times, it becomes second nature. So be having a look at that side. Promoted listings, again, very simple, but I'm going to do a wee video on that as well. And then probably the one that's a bit meatier will be creating those variation listings. So I've had my Martina Cole bundle. I've got about 20, maybe about 20 books, 20 Martina Cole titles that I need to put into a variation listing. So I'll be using that as the example and running through that. So I'm not going to do one big hour and a half long video, whatever it might be, talking through all of these things. I'm going to do a series of fairly short videos. So some of them might only be a few minutes, some of them might be 15-20 minutes to cover everything that's needed. But I'm going to make them over the weekend, and I will just drop them all at once, put them into a playlist. So if anybody's looking for how to do these specific things, they can go in and watch that short video and get what they need from it, rather than having, in some of these videos I talk about these bits and pieces, but for anyone to find that information, they're going to have to dig. So I want to get that broken down into a few short topics. So if anybody's got any other specific things that they want to know how to do when selling books on eBay, well, it covers anything, but obviously I'm a bookseller here, so that's what I'm talking about. Leave us a comment, let us know what you would like me to cover, and I will see what I can do. So I want to get a few of these done over the weekend, get them all uploaded, and then that library's there for people to use as and when they need to over the coming days, weeks, months, years, centuries. Who knows? Maybe nobody will be interested in them at all, but that's what I want to get out there and see what it can do. I'm also at some point in the near future going to cover a bit more on process, how I have set up my process for buying, sorting, listing, storing, picking, packing, posting. So a full beginning to end process on selling the books, so that you can do it as efficiently as possible, as effectively as possible, as accurately as possible. And if you get all of those things right, then it will be as profitably as possible as well. So that will be a bit more of a one to pull together, and we'll see how that goes. Alright, that's all for today. Thank you as ever for watching and your support and all of these other things. I'll see you tomorrow. So, love you. See ya. Bye.